This is the rest of the Chris Griffin Family Guy rabbit hole. I mentioned that Chris Griffin was taken advantage of by several different adults. So obviously one of those adults being Hubert. So Hubert has been chasing Chris for a pretty long time, and he's even had Chris. Chris actually knew about it and was kind of okay with it. If you remember, Chris ran away and lived with Hubert. And like a true person that Hubert is, he did take advantage of Chris. So when Hubert and Chris broke up, if you remember, Chris told him, I faked all of those pass out moments. Which means Chris was aware and awake for everything that Hubert did. And after that, not only did Chris and Hubert's relationship kind of change, Hubert started becoming interested in other boys. Hubert finally got what he wanted, and now if you look in the newer episodes, him and Chris don't really have a relationship at all, suggesting that Chris has timed out. But Hubert almost got Chris one time before, which brings us to our number 2 adult in Chris's life. That person would be none other than Carter Pewtersmith. Again, this only works if you're paying attention to the older episodes. Do you remember when they kicked Chris out of school and he had to go to that private school? In order to help get along with the kids, his grandfather decided he would take him under his wing. Help him get into that prestigious club. Well, the last thing he had to do to be a part of the club was to go into the closet with their oldest master. That old master was Hubert. When Chris decided he wanted to go back to public school, Carter let him go. But in order for him to go, Carter had to step up to be with the oldest master. Hubert then says, I am so sick of you, suggesting that Hubert has been doing this not only to Carter Pewtersmith, wanting Chris Griffin, but has been doing this for years. But don't overlook the fact that Carter is one himself. Have you ever noticed how much Carter Pewtersmith chases after his own daughter? It doesn't matter the time or the place or even the timeline. Carter Pewtersmith still aggressively tries to go after his daughter. But he doesn't act like that towards his other daughter. He's happily willing to give her away. However, he wants to keep Lois to himself. This is part of the reason why Carter does not like Peter. Carter and Peter are basically in competition with each other, and it goes beyond just Lois.